It's time to take a look at what's happening around Wyoming for Monday, June 10th. I'm Wendy Corr, bringing you headlines from the Cowboy State Daily newsroom, presented by Cheyenne Frontier Days. From sunup to sundown, there's something for everyone. Check it out at cfdrodeo.com. A catastrophic failure of Wyoming Highway 22 over Teton Pass overnight Friday washed away a huge section of the Lifeline corridor between Jackson, Wyoming and Victor, Idaho. That's according to the Wyoming Department of Transportation. And Cowboy State Daily's Andrew Rossi says the road washout is going to cause problems for tourists and commuters alike for some time to come.
It's really a total loss along that span of the highway. There was no earthquake or anything like that. It's just a landslide, natural shifts along that slope. And unfortunately, it's just going to take what it takes to get that highway repaired and in use. So it's going to be putting people out of the way. Their 30 to 40-minute drive between Victor and Jackson just turned into a 2-hour drive and probably more to get around it. But there's nothing, unfortunately, that people can do.
Governor Mark Gordon has declared a state of emergency for Teton Pass, which will open up some federal highway funds to repair the damage. But there's no anticipated date of reopening in sight. More than 7 months after a Wheatland woman went missing, her car has been found abandoned 1,100 miles away in California, but there's no clue where she might be. Yo Jin Min was reported missing by her ex-husband, Edward Min, on October 14th of last year. And Cowboy State Daily's Jen Coker reports that there are some disturbing elements to Min's disappearance.
It's not clear if she's endangered or if she left on her own. And the police, when a person is reported missing by family or a friend, they can't take them off the missing list until that person contacts the local police station or them. So as of now, she's still missing.
Her ex-husband said he is worried because she's not contacted their son, but he also can't say if she's intentionally missing. Wyoming's U.S. House Representative Harriet Hageman made an appearance at the Wyoming Mining Association convention in Cody last week and drew a red line with Washington, D.C.'s ever-expansive powers, which it possesses through the Bureau of Land Management and the Environmental Protection Agency, and which intends to shut down the coal industry by 2041. Energy reporter Pat Mayo was in attendance for Hageman's speech, in which she pointed out that if fossil fuels are so evil, then liberal cities like Boulder should just give them up proactively. They should start by giving up gas stations. Oh, and pavement should also be removed.
She called it just la land thinking, and that people need to wake up to the fact that we're in trouble if we go down this path of destroying the coal industry.
Both Hageman and Wyoming Governor Mark Gordon gave a hand-slapping series of speeches to close out the Wyoming Mining Association's annual convention. I'll be back in just 15 seconds with more news.
In southwest Wyoming, wide open space is waiting. This is how we explore it. In Rock Springs and Green River, Wyoming. Plan your adventure at explorewy.com.
TV shows like Yellowstone and Longmire and stars like Beyoncé have helped to make cowboy fashion popular again. Business reporter Renee Jean visited one particular shop in Jackson and noticed that tourists were spending big money on hats, art, and all things Western.
The hats were practically flying off the shelves. I couldn't believe how many people were in this high-end cowboy hat shop dropping a couple of $1,000s for a hat on your head. Now, I should say that not everybody there was particularly desperate to become a cowboy. And I think if you think about what the cowboy portrays, it's that independence, it's that moxie, it's that I can get the job done no matter what kind of attitude.
Jean says people are in love with the spirit that cowboys and cowgirls portray. And who doesn't want to put a little piece of that on their head, even if it's only for a moment? And folks who find themselves lost and starving in Wyoming's vast backcountry might have to overcome some modern squeamishness to survive. Cowboy State Daily's Mark Hines took a closer look at what survivalists have done to stay alive, and that means not just eating the red meat of wild critters they catch. That can actually kill you, and it would be a painful, drawn-out death from something called rabbit starvation, the common term for protein poisoning.
You can actually overload your liver with nothing but that lean protein. Your liver can't process it. That in turn can cause ammonia poisoning in your blood, which in turn can kill you. Well, do what the Paleolithic people did. You have to get other nutrients out of the animal. So from our perspective, our modern perspective, it might seem kind of gross, but the internal organs, the liver and the heart, are really good sources of fats to balance out that pure protein. Also, the stomach content of animals. If you're up against it in nature, you got no choice. Porcupine's a great one to go for. They've got a lot of fatty content in their flesh, and you need those fats. And plus, they're slow and relatively easy to catch.
And of course, don't forget the brains. Those are loaded with healthy fats. And that's today's news. Get your free digital subscription to Wyoming's only statewide newspaper by hitting the subscribe button on cowboystatedaily.com and check out our YouTube channel. I'm Wendy Corr for Cowboy State Daily.